Cool. I like the moderate amount of enthusiasm. You guys are going to want to rustle up a little more enthusiasm for this next guy because he sure as hell is going to just really bring us down. He's very, very, very funny. He's kind of intense. Elliott Rose!
Keep it going for Daniel and the Royal. I'm glad to be back here in Olympia. It's much better than where I started doing comedy, which was in a Marie Callender's in Awesometown, California. And just for some context, Awesometown was just southwest of a place that we affectionately called Cowschwitz, California. And every week, the Marie Callender's would have a comedy night to take people's minds off the fact that they were eating at a Marie Callender's. Which is basically just a Sherry's putting on airs. Just pretending to be something it isn't. And I learned very quickly, after about 2 years, that people who order off the Comfort Classics menu, both spelled with a K, to make it fun to read, are not the kind of people who want to hear jokes about the benefits of suicide. And like, of course, the guy in a trench coat and Doc Martens would find that type of stuff funny. And I'm dealing with the fact that I am into everything you'd assume I'd be into based on my appearance. And I know, like, I dress like a cool, modern priest. I dress like the kind of priest that would take you to your Planned Parenthood appointment. That's something you wait for. And that'd be okay if I wasn't just into everything you'd assume I'd be into. Just, oh, he probably listens to Radiohead. Alone. Oh, I bet he's the kind of guy that reads 19th century Russian literature and wants people to know about it. I do, and I just did. You're welcome. Oh, I bet back in high school, Elliott had an unintentional mullet that he tried to play off as a back ponytail with bangs. It was very hard to get a girlfriend back in high school when you were rocking the Betty Page haircut. It's all right though. I've been doing all right for myself. I was recently engaged. Woo! It ended. Don't worry about it. You don't have to applaud. It was awful. But the hard part about it wasn't the fact that we broke up. It was meeting her father for the first time. And if we're to be honest, no father wants this for his little girl. No father dreams of his little princess falling in love with a guy that looks like he goes to funerals just for kicks. And bonus, as the voice of a disinterested NPR correspondent. And so we were trapped at dinner together, and we just couldn't relate to one another because we didn't have any shared interests. He wanted to talk about like NASCAR and like, hey, isn't barbecuing great? And I told him that I recently began showering with hemp oil, and it made me feel emotional inside. And finally, he was just so fed up with me that he goes, are you into sports at least? I'm into a sport. There is no quicker way to shut up a 55-year-old red-blooded American male than to tell him that your favorite sport is figure skating. A sport that involves people dressed like drag queens, ice prancing to the songs of Enya. It's all right though, I won because I got to have sex with his daughter. I think that should be the new definition of defeating your enemies, is having sex with their children. But if I'm to be honest, I'm not actually very good at sex. I've been practicing on and off for about 14 years of my life, and no discernible improvement, because I don't like to be touched and or looked at. Like, if sex was a high five that ended in orgasm, I'd be the king of sex. It would take away every problem that men typically have. Like premature high five, doesn't exist. She misses you the first time, windmill it. She'll catch you on the return. You don't have to explain to her, like, the reason that your arm went limp all of a sudden is because you thought about your grandmother and now you feel sad. She was, my ex was trying to make us mature, try to act our age, and the way that she did this was by introducing grape nuts into our home. And I don't know if you've ever had grape nuts, but they basically taste like healthy, with the added benefit of being hard as a diamond. If you've ever been interested in eating wet gravel, grape nuts has your back. Like, the only way that I would have had that in my house before my ex was if I was just the most boring blackout drunk that ever existed. Just, woo! I am messed up! I've got an idea, fellows. Like, I don't know why I'm talking kind of like a robot right now. How about we go to the nearest Safeway, I'm a Safeway Select member, and we buy ourselves a healthy cereal for a responsible breakfast. High five. I think I came a little. And we would just take I would take a brief inventory at breakfast and be like, I'm eating grape nut cereal, listening to NPR, I have a cup of black coffee, and a side of grapefruit. Basically, I was just a brightly colored windbreaker away from getting my first Social Security check. And she also wanted kids, and I never want kids because it's been scientifically proven that children ruin your life for the rest of your life. And which makes it kind of ironic that I invited myself to my friend's family reunion just to show how electric my social life is when I'm not standing here talking to a bunch of people. And she let me go because she was just so weirded out by the request. And when we got there, I realized, like, oh, I'm not good with a group of people. I immediately get very insular and, like Daniel said, intense. And, like, I'll just start sprouting off Latin for no particular reason. Just apropos of nothing. In vino veritas. And we're just... My friend starts talking to her family, who she loves apparently. And I just interrupt and, like, pardon me. Just thought you would all like to know that I'm fairly certain that I have an aggressive peace of mind. And they reacted exactly like how you're reacting right now, which is just baffled silence. I think some of them pretended that I was like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like, maybe if we just don't move or make a sound, he'll stop being able to see us, and he'll just blunder away. And the person that saved me was the grandmother. She was like, oh, I see the conversation thread that you dropped. I'll pick it up. See where it goes. I don't care, I'm almost dead. And she goes, well, what do you mean you have an aggressive peace of mind? And I told her, well, it's just like I have a bunch of bad thoughts in my brain all of the time, and like I have to constantly beat it back, like, no, it's cool, you have a beard now, you don't look like a frumpy lesbian anymore. And like, I think it would be hilarious if someone was going to commit suicide and then decided not to until they saw a motivational poster. And they're like, you know what, I have given up on everything, including my own life. I am not going to give up on taking my own life. And like, as they're putting the noose around their neck, they're just smirking. Like, hang in there? Oh, I will, kitty. I will. And she listened, and you could tell that she was just summoning all 77 years of wisdom, and she was about to drop some knowledge on me. And she goes, well, I'm really sorry that you have an aggressive peace of mind, but just so you know, good thoughts put me in a good mood. And I didn't have the heart to tell her that we weren't debating about that. Like, I have never once thought, like, I'm fairly certain good thoughts put you in a terrible mood. Because I'm smart enough to understand that no one has ever jumped off the Golden State Bridge because, hey, aren't puppies adorable? Okay, I think I'm going to leave on this one. I have a terrible sense of direction. I graduated with a comparative literature degree, which means all I can basically do is read complicated books and be really pretentious about it. And I rely on Google Maps all of the time. And I was in Seattle looking for a bar, and they have this feature called speech text. So if you say like, the Royal, it'll hear it and then give you directions to it. And I was about to say the name of the bar until I saw a downer of a text. I was like, ah, shit. And Google heard that and gave me directions to beautiful downtown Cleveland. It was like, oh, I heard you mention human excrement. Would you be interested in an 18-hour drive to Cleveland, Ohio? That's my time. Thanks very much.